Welcome to TerryWilson3.com, home of TW3. Are you ready to take your money, business, and life to the next level? You are worth more, and you're about to hear how and why. So buckle up and listen up as we journey to the next level. Please welcome your guys to reach your goals, the TW3 family.
Here's your host, Reagan Wilson.
Hey, everybody. You are listening to the TW3 podcast. This is episode 535. Today, we're going to be talking about proximity marketing.
Proximity marketing.
I'm joined today by my co-host. You may know his name. Terrell Wilson.
Terrell. Hey, don't be giving that out. People don't know that.
He's giving out the goods.
Yeah, don't be. We want to be transparent, but not that transparent. Yeah, I got something in the back of my throat. I don't know if I'm getting a cold or what, but it's just like, ugh. Anywho, do you know what proximity marketing means?
I don't. I know what those two words mean,
Independently of each other.
But when you put them together, I can make some guesses. But you did a thing when I first walked in that I'm assuming it ties to.
This is part of it. And then this is the big, I haven't even told you about this.
Which we can reenact it if you want to. We can do it.
So yeah, we're on camera. So I'm just going to come over here.
You said, and I'll do what you said.
Do it.
Said, hey, let me see your phone. Took this.
Yeah. You have to lift it up a little higher. Cause right there. And then
did that. This pops up.
Yeah.
Can I see that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you have to press it.
Yeah.
And then boom, a digital business card.
Now, when you did that, I said, oh, that's weird. Because normally when you see this, I see QR scanners, right?
Yeah, it's no QR scanner.
There's no QR. You just press it on the top of my phone.
I literally took data that was on this card, programmed on this card, like a motel key card, basically.
Yeah.
And the reason it's white is because I don't have it printed yet. But what it's going to look like is I'm actually having my business card that will be printed on that. So, yeah. So what'll happen is I will, instead of having hundreds of cards that I give out every time I'm with someone or talking to someone. See, that doesn't have, it does have the QR code. And of course, this is an audio podcast. I just handed him a regular business card, a glossy paper business card with the QR code. Nothing special here, nothing new, but that's the way it's always been to try to transfer data, or at least to get someone's phone to a website is, a QR code, which I still use. But now, putting it on this, I will be able to do that. And it's a digital business card.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that our app at TW3 can do.
That's a pretty cool product, independently of our app or anything else that we do. To have a digital business card, it's like, because
let
me see your phone.
All of the data, content, files, everything that we would have on our app, you can have it programmed to a card. And so when Android or iPhone, doesn't matter, if I'm at a trade show, if I'm out talking, like I was at the gym Saturday, and very humbled that a guy came up to me, and one of the trainers there, and apparently Rose had given him a book. And he was just gushing over all of the things that and all the value he got out of it. It was just very, very complimentary. And I did appreciate it. I mean, that's awesome when you feel like something you've created actually has an impact on someone. And so as he's talking, this lady there, whose name is Gina, ironically, she listened in on it, and she's one that I sort of crack wise with when I'm there a lot. And all these one-liners, the hokey dad humor that I have.
Your specialty.
My specialty, which at least she finds funny. So
somebody's got to.
Somebody has to. There has to be a consumer to this. So anyway, she found out I wrote a book, and then now she wants the book. And I says, well, I gave her my business card because that's all I had at the time. And I said, scan the card code on the back. Because she looked at it, she goes, I can't read that print. It's too fine. After I was looking at it, I was like, shoot, I can't either. I was like, why did I print that so small? So I might have to print that again. But I said, scan that, and it'll take you, and give me your information, just your name, number, and email address, and I'll mail it out to you. I'll get your physical address. Yeah. In case we don't see, because it's hit or miss at the gym, because our times are always, I might see her once every 2 or 3 weeks. And so when I got home, I've been researching this thing about proximity marketing because that's one of the things Michael has included in our app and some of the things we're going to be doing, which we're going to get into in a minute. And I was talking to Timmy over at Liberty Press, and this is something that they do, and we can have people print bulk if they want this done in bulk. He's got some really great pricing if they need these done, like you've got a hotel or you've got some sort of commercial use for these that you want the logo and everything printed on. You can put anything on this. Like, for instance, I could put my entire book in PDF form right here.
And say, just have them scan
you want, and then boom, you tap it on your phone, and all of a sudden it shows right up in your...
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah, so it's a way of transferring data fairly quickly. So you've got it in the card form, which I'm what I am on the for audio listeners. I'm holding up a 2.5 by 3 inch just standard business card, and then we also have them in this thing that looks basically the size of a nickel. It'll do that as well. Now everybody thinks
you just leave those everywhere.
This is a tracking device or something, but see, here's the deal. I can take this, slide it up under my case here. Okay, and now my phone becomes this. So I can just tap your phone with my phone and transfer all kinds of data as well. I can tape this behind, maybe I make up a nice sign.
Yeah.
And this is something Chris doesn't know this yet, but Chris Roop, I'm helping him build some products for his comedy community because he works with he's a comedian. He's opening up, doing warm-up work for the Mike Huckabee show, and he's up and down the whole East Coast now. And his comedy career is really taking off.
It's awesome.
And we want to develop some products so that when he's out and about working with other comedians and helping them to get their comedy out there, to help them build podcasts, to help them have a means to all their fans can sign up for their newsletter and everything. And anytime they're in town, they get a direct email or text saying, hey, I'm going to be playing at the Comedy Zone tonight. Come out and check me out. So help them build their list. Because you got to think of comedians like this. They're independent, small business owners.
I mean, yes.
And their product is entertainment.
Yeah.
And so come out, so they have to have some of these same assets. Well, one of the ways that they incentivize people to sign up for their traditional newsletter now is come back to my merch table afterwards. I'll give you a sticker and love to get some information. So my next CD or DVD that comes out or whatever, you'll be the first and you get so much percentage because you join this club. Well, what they're trying to do is build their list.
Sure.
So they're giving out these stickers. I just designed, I don't have it yet to show yet, but it's called Laughs on Tap. And so Laughs on Tap, and it's going to have a tap like a barroom beer tap.
Yeah.
And it's pouring out laughter and everything like that into a cup, and it says tap, Laughs on Tap. This will be embedded right there where the glass is, where it says tap. And then there'll be other things that's tap your phone here to get my.
That's pretty cool.
So now when they're giving out stickers, they're actually giving out these little things here.
I like that.
Yeah. So I've got all kinds of little things that I'm working with to help him. So I just thought that was some great ideas. But
independently, it's a very futuristic device. I know it's been around for a little bit.
It's been around a while.
But the idea, I've seen the QR scanners, but the NFC scanners I've never seen. And so for you to go like, hey, let me see your phone, and you scan it. I'm like, oh, this is like some Iron Man, Tony Stark pulls out his business card.
Well,
it's actually a website.
Your mother saw it just because I'm setting this up for churches as well.
Yeah.
And the way it would work for a church is like right now when people come into church and they want to check their kids in for preschool or children's church or whatever, what do? They go in, they go up to this kiosk, they type in all of their information, yada, yada, yada. And then they hit submit. It prints out a sticker for them and the child. And then that way when you go pick up, no. Now you come in, I will have this right here. They take their phone and they tap it.
We paste it on the kid's forehead and they scan it, and that's how they know it's their child.
And they've taken the mark. No, what happens is they tap it and it pulls up our church app already there that's pre-populated all their information anyway. They hit one button. And so the thing that people's got to know about this, I need to clear this up real quick because I can see people and go, oh my God, because your mother was the same way. This is scary. These devices don't take information from your phone.
They just put it on there.
they put information on your phone.
Yeah, the information.
That's very important because I don't want people now. There are some nefarious ways to do that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie that there's not, but what we're promoting and what we're showing, you don't do that. Okay. So just want to be clear on that. So it's like anything else. Technology can be used for good or evil.
Sure.
But this is the way you use it in a way that's positive and in the way we're training on using it and how we're programming it to be used. And by the way, you can go and get a free app and scan one of these and see what's on it. So if you ever get a card from us and say, let me see you can scan it and look with one of these apps and see exactly all the data that's on there and what it's doing.
If you're familiar with a QR scanner, and I mean, we showed it as well, but what it pulls up is, at least on my phone, pulls up a Safari address. It says, hey, it's wanting to pull to this address. And you tap it.
Well, that's the way I've got it programmed. I've got this program to just send you to a website, web page. There's other data I can put. I can put a CV, VC file, okay, which is a virtual card file. So what that means is I can program it to when I tap your phone, it pulls up your contact list and automatically populates me as a contact in your address book. And all you have to do is click accept.
That's actually really cool.
So now, and so actually when I do that and do the business card version, it's not going to take you to that digital page that I sent you to.
Yeah.
It's actually going to take you, it's just going to tap and put me into your address book. All it's going to do.
Gotcha. Which is the same as sharing, your phone number. Be like, hey, what's your name? Let me put you in there. Yeah.
Exactly. And I can program it to ask your phone for your contact information, but you have to say, yes, accept.
That's pretty cool.
So it's a way that you and I can share contact info.
It's a way you can awkwardly be like, you going to accept? Like you're looking at their phone.
You going to accept or not?
I'm looking at you. I can tell you press no.
That's really cool.
No,
that's coming to TW3 as a product that we're going to be offering business people, independent small business people, and all of that other stuff.
I like that.
We could be putting these at every table in a restaurant. They can tap for the menu, tap for the payment, tap for everything.
See, I always tend to get bogged down by this stuff, and that's what you talk about it a lot, but drinking from a fire hydrant. But I'm also one of these people that it's the little things that really impress me. And I know that there's a lot to our business. There's a lot of moving parts, a lot of training. But when it comes to just the tiny stuff that we can do, it's stuff like that I get kind of like a little giddy. I'm like, it's actually really cool. That I like that a lot.
Cool. It's so practical. There's such a utility for it.
Yeah.
But Reagan, wait, there's more. So we're
ShamWow.
ShamWow. Yeah. We have developed these, for lack of a better term, I'm just going to call them transmitters. Okay. That I've worked with someone. And for lack of a better analogy, let me grab something. Hold right there. Let's say this is it. This is not, but let's say it is. Because it's going to be about that size. And it looks about like that.
Okay.
But this isn't it. This is a smart mouse from Apple. But they'll be in tomorrow. I wished I had them today so I could show you. But they're transmitters.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What I'm going to be able to do for restaurants, retail shop owners, small business owners, churches, schools, anybody else, put this device in a restaurant. Let's say my favorite restaurant here in Boiling Springs, South Carolina is Capri's. Love Capri's. Loved it before we had family working there. We'll love it if they fire him. Don't care. Treat him like mud. I love your steaks. I'm going to be going there. So, and I've already told him, don't screw up my restaurant over there. So anyway, I love Capri's. So I could go to Capri's and I could say, here's what we can do. I'm going to put this device in your restaurant just behind the counter. It plugs up into a wall.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to worry about anything else. Every time someone walks into that restaurant with a smartphone, this device pushes a signal out to their phone via Bluetooth. Okay, the phone don't have to be on. They don't have to accept it. What it does is it searches for certain apps, specifically Facebook, but there's some other apps on there. And it pushes through private messenger, or puts it in their newsfeed. We can program it different ways. Hey, and we don't have to we can program when that message gets sent out.
Mm.
So maybe they pushed it, but it's a time sensitive. It's a time delayed.
You don't push it while they're in the restaurant, maybe. Right. Yeah.
They eat. 3 hours later, hey, give us feedback on how we did tonight. Fill this form out. Give us a review. In your next visit, we're going to give you 25% off on blah, 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 or 30% off. Or you program
free appetizer or whatever.
Free appetizer next time you come in for your review. Or maybe you do it a week later and say, hey, we haven't seen you in a while here. We're offering yada, yada, yada. Come right out. See, what happens is everybody that come into that restaurant is now a lead. I didn't capture their name, number, email address. I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
But this device put a time bomb in one of their apps that is going to push something to them later on. Okay? That's cool.
It is cool.
That's cool. Gets better. What if now that I have a retail location with this device in it, I can do a co-op with that business owner and say a Century 21 agent down the road that says, hey, let me push a signal to everyone that comes into your restaurant and I will pay you fill in the blank. So now you are selling the ability to push data to someone.
This is like a billboard equivalent. You're paying for the space. Proximity
yeah. Marketing. What if instead of a restaurant, it's a mall? What if instead of a mall, it's downtown Spartanburg where they roped off all of those where people are walking and all that traffic?
Yeah.
And I just put it out there. And so every time someone comes, because the proximity is 50 yards. So anyone within 50 yards gets something pushed to their phone. What if I go over and I talk to my favorite pub in downtown Spartanburg's, our favorite Irish hangout, Delaney's, and say, hey, I'm going to put my transmitter over on Church Street, this street, and other places where there's foot traffic. And I'll say, come to Delaney's tonight and get 20% off on, and all of a sudden I can start capturing foot traffic that's over there and bring them over here. And I can do that same thing with independent salespeople.
There's a lot of ways to do it.
There is so much, but the beauty in this thing is I'm not having to convince people to opt in anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm not having to grab anybody's private information.
Yeah.
I don't know who these people are.
And it's super easy for people to ignore, which is a good thing because you want it to be easy to opt out.
It's not invasive at all.
Yeah.
It's not a text.
Yeah.
It's not something, it's not a phone dial. It's just a push notification through one of the apps that they already have. And the minute they ignore it or decline, it's done.
It goes away. Yeah.
It goes away.
Nah, it's really cool. There's a lot of ways you could use that. That's kind of where my brain is going now. It's like there's so much. There's so much space to take this. You know what I mean?
Dude, for me, think about this. For people I want to recruit into a business opportunity, I could do a push notification on every one of these that I put out and say, we're hiring work from home opportunities. Talk to them about our hourly opportunities that we pay along with the elite membership. I mean, there is so many things I can do. And then if they click it, it pulls up my page. It gives a little blurb and then a link to go to my opt-in. And I didn't pay anything.
Right. It's really cool. The only thing so you would need some kind of agreement though from the people you're speaking to about where you're placing these transmitters.
Yeah. The agreement is the real estate.
Right.
I've got to find people with real estate.
Yeah.
That has foot traffic that this would make sense in. But I'm telling you right now, every retail restaurant, because I don't want to get too far in the weeds here.
Do they have wireless transmitters you don't have to plug in?
They do battery, but then it has to be manned. So you've got to have someone there that's sort of manning the... I'm
thinking, like, what if you just put it in your pocket and go to a baseball game?
You can.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, you absolutely.
If I'm a bar owner and I'm like, let's say I'm a bar owner next to the Brave Stadium, which I'm sure you get a lot of foot traffic anyway, but like, you know, X player, if he has.
Okay, now we're getting into some things that, you know, I'm talking all white hat stuff.
Yeah.
You know, the good way of using technology.
Sure.
That's the slang for it. But have you noticed the commercials, the increase in commercials talking about buying these wallets that have protection that breaks these signals?
Yeah.
Okay. The reason is because there's nefarious actors out there that will grab these transmitters, walk through airports, walk through malls, walk through stadiums, and it goes around, and instead of pushing data,
it pulls data.
It's pulling
and
data.
It's probably pulling the like card.
And it's pulling the card information. And so there's ways, I mean, you know,
but that's not what I was suggesting.
I know you're not suggesting that, but I want people to, I mean, I want to be fully clear. I mean, that's how they're doing it with some of this technology.
Sure.
But from a business standpoint, for people that's wanting to get their message out in front of people, the power of this thing.
It's pretty cool. There's a lot of different ways you can take it too. There's so much freedom in that, in the way you can market. I like that it's not intrusive.
It's not intrusive.
Because that's a big thing with marketing. A lot of times it can just, even if it's just a billboard, if the billboard like doesn't stick with you, you're just like, it's stupid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the fact that it's like, if I got a notification as I was walking by a restaurant or a bar, it says, hey, come in now, you know, 20% off your first appetizer. I'd be like, personally, I don't know about everybody else. I'm sure there's other people, but I would be like, that's really cool. How did it know I was walking by the building? Just from that alone, I'd be like, I guess I gotta, you know?
Well, I mean, that's actually happened to me. I don't know if it's ever happened to you, but I've had that happen multiple times where I'm walking and all of a sudden I'm near somewhere and I get a push notification about X, Y, or Z.
No, I've not gotten that yet, but that's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there are some people like that hate it. I understand why they don't want to be marketed to, but from somebody that works in marketing, I'm like, I like that. That's actually really cool.
Here's how my brain works. Okay. You're a car dealer.
Yeah.
You know how competitive the car business is.
Sure.
So, I've got someone on my lot. I use this technology to push a notification to them. Okay. Do it through using Facebook, the Facebook app.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here's where it gets really cool. So I push the notification that they're on, because they're on my lot, and I try to incentivize them to buy whatever I got to do. But then I program my Facebook account that anyone that I push notifications to, if they go to certain geographical locations, push this message to them. So what did I just do? You're on my thing, you get this push notification. And then I've got it programmed. If you go to car dealer X, Y, or Z, my competitors, then send this to you. So now all of a sudden, I've put a fence around that customer, because now I'm saying I throw the kitchen sink at them to get them back on my lot, you know, in whatever ethical way I can. Sure. To say, hey, you know, the XYZ dealer over is a child molester. We just found this out. Thought you should know before you go down there and visit him. No, I'm just kidding. but you see what I'm saying?
No,
I mean, there's all kinds of ways that once you have this technology and you can earmark that client.
Yeah.
The power in this thing is just absolutely amazing.
I do feel like that's the difference, though. If you have competitors as a business, some people don't have a lot of competitors. You might be in a very unique space, but if you have competitors as a business, that feels like the next level thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's you've got a leg up because it's creative, number one. It's reaching people in a way they're not used to being reached yet, which is really good in marketing. When you talk about the way you're reaching
that's how
people,
you break through the noise.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Something different. It's like, oh, I've not seen this before.
Yeah.
I like that. It's cool.
So I just think this is bad to the bone. And so if I am a realtor, for instance, I'm going to be talking to all of the different restaurants, hotels. I'm going to be putting anybody and everybody I can think, hey, you got a house for sale, you're looking for a home. Yeah. Anywhere I can find that potential buyers, home buyers would, or sellers would be, I would be co-oping, with those folks. If I'm an insurance agent, I'm doing the same thing. I'm trying to get these out there. And here's the thing let's bring it back to TW3 and how this applies to us. Because we have this technology, okay, this is a service that we can offer, use, and resell. That's what makes this just absolutely incredible.
No, very cool.
Because the transmitter and it program, starts at about $100 or whatever and goes up based on the programming and stuff, right?
Yeah.
But once it's out there, then you work the business deal however you need to work the business deal with your clients,
right?
As I've talked about here, these are some of the things I can imagine how I could resell this service. And here's the thing, especially these restaurant guys. You could show a restaurant guy how he could have free marketing because you put it in his restaurant and then you work with him to go out and get some real estate guys, insurance guys, car dealers, anybody, small business owners around that's not in the restaurant business.
Yeah.
And let them sell ad space on his platform. All of a sudden, he's making money on the food and he's making money on every person that sits down with a smartphone.
It's smart. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Now, did I rock your world?
That's pretty good. Now my brain's working. I'm like, man, there's a lot of ways you could take this.
I mean, this is just bad. And it all happens because we have these tools in the back with the app that works with social media, that work as a CRM with a texting email. Because once we push the notification and we get them to opt in anywhere, what happens? We got them.
Yeah.
And then you can start texting, emailing, sending calendars to book appointments. There's all different types of things you can do.
It's very cool. It's very cool.
I thought you would like that.
I do like it.
I thought you would like that. So that is that. So we got proximity marketing that is going to be bad to the bone. We got these digital components here that.
I forgot about that. Yeah, who cares about those? I mean,
didn't I tell you? I said this is just the opening salvo.
That was just pretty cool because the way you said, "Let me see your phone." Ding! Oh, hey, look, that's your whole webpage.
Hey, well, here's the thing. I can have one that says podcast. I can have one that says my book. Yeah. I can have, and so I'm just putting whatever. You
can put PDFs on there, right?
PDFs, any type of data. This is a small hard drive that's got a transmitter that will transmit to your phone through near field communication. It's an NFC device.
That's what allows like AirDrop.
It's an AirDrop.
Gotcha.
That's exactly right. So that's the way it works. I mean, technically, I could put my card on this and go pay at the gas pump if I didn't want to expose. You know what I'm saying? I can put any data on here I want. Yeah. I can program it however I want. So these things are bad to the bone, and because we've got an inside, thing about how to get them in bulk, we can get these things cheap,
which is cool.
And
that's a good thing we know Timmy as well.
Oh, Timmy. We got the press is on our side, so we got that going on. So, anywho, I thought, man, that is just bad to the bone. So I wanted to get that out to my audience and offer that.
Well, I'm thinking I'm taking it back just a little bit, but
go ahead.
There's that coffee station down in Forest City. You probably know what I'm talking about. Every year they put up Christmas trees. They put up Christmas lights and stuff. People can walk around. It's about a mile back and forth through look at the lights. You just get a couple of those, put them out there. Hey, would you like some hot coffee? Well, would you like hot chocolate? Well, 20% off if you tell us, there's so many ways you could take this.
There are so many applications to this that it is just mind-boggling. It is mind-boggling. So I preached today.
How'd that go?
It went. I don't know how. It's hard for me to judge how it goes. I don't know. What other people's takeaway was it from it.
How was the reception while you were up there?
That's why it was sort of weird because. I'm an audiophile, right? I mean, you know that.
You care about audio quality.
Well, I care about audio quality, and I care about, you've lived in this house when you lived in this house, I like it sort of quiet when I'm working or trying, and when I say working, when I'm trying to think, when I'm trying to be creative, when I'm trying to formulate an idea, which is what podcasting and all the stuff that we do with. So I'm up there and not throwing shade toward anybody or anything, or it's no problem. So don't take that.
Whose kid was crying?
That's exactly what was happening. So I just could not complete a thought, and I'm scared to say anything just because I don't want anybody to feel embarrassed. I definitely don't want anybody to feel bad. It's a me problem.
It's a baby problem, but yeah. The problem was babies can't form words, so they cry.
So they cry, which I get. And so it's just one of those things where, oh man, I was trying my best.
So realistically, what you're telling me is it actually went really well, but you were not having a great time while up there. It probably was going fine.
Everybody, yeah, but here's the problem with church folk, in my opinion, and I'm one of them, but especially in the South. I don't believe them.
You want to expand on that? There's a lot I could say there, but go ahead.
They are
true. No.
They're kind, nice, polite, encouraging to the point they may not be telling you the truth when it comes to how was it? Did you get any? Was there any value here? You know what I'm saying? That's one of the things I love about having.
I'd like to put a stipulation there. I don't think that's just the church folk, though.
It's the South.
They're congruent because a lot of Southern people go to church.
Sure.
Very similar to if you go up Northeast, a lot of people are Catholic.
Right.
It's kind of like an identity
or
thing.
Jewish, yeah.
Yeah, but it's like we're just nice. We're just like unapologetically nice about things. Sometimes and it's not always good. It's actually like to our detriment in a lot of ways.
Well, it does. Honestly, it does. Get in a little sociology here, but it does hurt credibility sometimes.
Yeah.
When you have someone that's always nice, always saying what you want to hear, that's scary to me.
Yeah.
I tend to really follow people and listen more keenly to people when I have heard them at some point in the past say things that they know I'm not going to like, and I know that they know I'm not going to like, and they still said it.
And they said it anyway.
I was like, okay, this person is more concerned about the truth than they are about my feelings.
They're being honest.
Right.
You can tell that there's no gate there.
And I don't want to I'm not trying to throw shade. I'm not trying to say people that struggle with that are being dishonest.
Sure.
Or are dishonest, but they are being dishonest.
Right.
I don't want to call anyone a name, but it's one of those things. I got thrown out of my game a little bit. I couldn't.
Your rhythm was off.
Yeah, I never felt that flow state. I tell you, when
you weren't in the zone,
music, speaking, anything creative, when you can get in that zone, and just start flowing. Honestly, it's spiritual.
It's kind of like.
It is a spiritual. Yeah. It's a spiritual diet because you almost feel like there's something outside of you coming and just you're like this thing.
You're not having to think about it. You're
just you are in the zone, baby. You're just doing it, and it's just like
it's like if you play a song. Anybody that's played live music, you play a song, but then you mess up like the first 3 notes, and then you just never recover.
Yeah, you can't recover.
You're always, and then you mess up again because you're thinking of it.
So every beat, whether it be the 1, 2, 3, or 4, the 8th, the quarter,
and
whatever.
Then you stop, and it's like, oh, we weren't supposed to stop.
Everything you're doing at that point is thought about, and you're in your head.
Yeah.
And when you're thinking about the notes and the timing and the beat, music's not fun. Mm-mm. Music to me is fun. Speaking is fun. Everything creative, sports is fun. It's when I've mastered my craft to a point, and I'm doing this thing to a point. My mind goes to another level. It's no longer worried about the mechanical things of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But it's actually on this other plane. And I'm starting to read the rhythm of the room, starting to feel the vibe. I mean, there's all. It
allows you to be more expressive a lot of times too. You're willing to try things.
Yeah.
Because it's like you've got your bass line now. You know the notes. You know what you're going to say. You're not worried about messing up. It's like, well,
I've got all of my content in me. Yeah. I know the passages of scripture.
So what you're saying is that baby ruined everything
I'm not saying that at all.
Not messing up.
I am not. If anyone's listening, I am not saying that at all. I'm just saying that I have a me problem that I have been trying to work on for many, many years. And
Well, it was actually River. I told him to make sure he cried during your.
Well, he followed your advice and did exactly what you told him.
So everybody told you though that it went well.
Everybody said it went well.
When you did Pastor Terry say it went
I haven't talked to Terry yet.
Okay, because I feel like he'll tell you if
Terry will tell me. Terry will tell me. I haven't spoken to him.
You know, I would have told you had I.
You will have told me.
I would have told you if it went well. It didn't go well.
I know you will. But I'll tell you this: your mother tells me the truth. That's one of the things I love about your mother is she has hurt my feelings probably more than anyone else.
Good woman.
Yeah, good woman. And she said it went well.
Okay,
it went well.
It probably went well.
But I think here's what happened was the thing I love about speaking live that I miss so much. I mean, I love what we're doing here, this podcast and all this.
But there's no
stuff.
reactions.
But there's no reactions.
Yeah.
You don't know
Nobody's here to laugh at how funny
I don't know how any of this is landing.
Sure.
I don't see the expression. I don't see the people rolling their eyes every time I say something. Like, let Reagan talk and shut up. I don't see that.
It's never happened.
So I'm having to assume that's not happening and just have enough confidence say that maybe they want to hear from me and just keep talking.
Yeah.
So that's great. But the beautiful thing about that is that reaction, that it's almost like a dialogue back and forth.
You're feeding off of it.
I'm feeding off of it.
Yeah.
And so I'm up there, and what I felt I wanted to speak about today on a sort of a date that will go down in infamy, 9/11, is I want to talk about happiness. Mm-hmm. I wanted to talk about there's so much grieving and there's so much hurt and pain in the context of what's going on in society. We've had a lot of deaths lately. We've had a lot of disruption that's happened because of economic things. There's just a lot of things. People are hurting everywhere. It's not unique to us. But I've just felt like I wanted to talk to people. It's okay to be happy. It's okay. In other words, I think sometimes when there's a loss, I lost the business or I lost a person to death, or I've lost something. So many times we can get into this mode of sadness, which you're going to have. You're going to have the mourning. You're going to have the loss. But then when things good happen to you in life, you feel guilty for feeling good about it. Because why, you feel like you betrayed someone or something because, I'm enjoying life again.
Yeah.
But I shouldn't be because of this.
It's almost like survivor's guilt a little bit.
Yeah. It's exactly what it is. And so today, and you guys were the catalyst to this because we were waxing poetically, if you will, a week ago today. For your birthday, we stayed up to 2-3 in the morning. Yeah, talking about philosophical ideas and everything, and the idea of happiness, and joy, and all of that stuff.
Where it comes from,
how it originates, yada yada yada. And I said something in that conversation that I got a little bit of check about when I went to bed, and I felt the Lord say, that just ain't true. And I was like, what? And because I don't know if you remember the content, but River, you once said something about happiness. And I said, well, God's not concerned about your happiness. I was talking about, and I was saying joy and the difference between happiness and joy. And to a small measure, theologically, that's correct. But to a greater context, it's not. And I went to bed and I got to thinking, as I was going to bed, I thought, well, then why is that not true? Why do I have a problem with that idea? And it was like, do you not remember my first published sermon? The first sermon Jesus ever preached that was recorded was the Sermon on the Mount. And it opens up with 9 blessings. And it goes, blessed is the man that does this, blessed is the man. The word blessed there is the way the translators translate the word happy. Happy is the person who mourns because I'll comfort them. Happy is the person who's poor in spirit because I'll do this. Happy is the meek, for they shall inherit. It's the famous one, blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. That's a very popular one. But there's like 9 of them that he's saying, here is your pathway to happiness. And it always comes in, it's very weird in the fact that most of the time people, when they are poor, when they are hurting, when they are mourning, when they're in these situations, human nature psychologically says, well, this ain't a time to be happy.
Right.
You can't be happy right now. And then he says, for instance, he'll say, blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. You do a word study. Meek is not a personality type. Meek is talking about a disposition to doing what's right immediately, even when it don't feel right, and not warring over, well, this is going to hurt, it's going to do this, I shouldn't do this. If it's right, do it immediately. Because if you'll take that attitude,
that's what meek means
in that verse, in that context, in that Greek word.
That always confused me because I was like, the meek.
Meek, well, most of the time, meek.
We think of mild-tempered.
Mild-tempered. It's a personality type,
right?
And that's what I was trying to say. He's not talking about, blessed are those who have this particular personality type. If you're soft-spoken, well-mannered, always, that's the personality type.
Blessed are the aloof.
Yeah. They don't give a rip. Yeah. No. What he's saying is,
dang it, my whole life. No.
Those who are willing to humble their wants, desires, and inclinations
for what's right.
For what's right.
Gotcha.
That's a meekness. I'd like to take your head off right now,
but I won't.
I won't, because it's not right. You know what I'm saying? And not only do what's right, but do it in a way that it's immediate. I don't even think about it. I'm just going to do it. Do what's right.
Yeah.
He says, when you can get yourself to that disposition of mindset, you'll inherit the earth. Now, he's not talking about physical land. He's not talking about that. Of course, it's a metaphor. You break that down, and there's 5 different areas that you could find happiness in. You cross-reference that to modern psychology. It's amazing how truth stacks up on multiple levels: theological, biological, psychological, sociological, historical. And so I'm just I'm getting lit up.
You're having an epiphany.
I'm having an epiphany.
Yeah. Which we talked some about that on my birthday, because it's kind of what we delved into: people that are happy and people that aren't, and how do they find that happiness, and what does that happiness mean?
Right.
Yeah.
So the flow state that I had.
Now, you made a good, and I'll give you this. I don't think I told you that night, but you made a good point. Yeah. It was analogous, but you were cross-referencing, kind of like you're saying now, how I think I made a point about some of it sounds similar to just positive encouragement, self-encouragement. You wake up every day and you tell yourself, I'm happy, you're valid, things like that, kind of the trendy things that we say.
Right.
And I said, and what
affirmations,
Right. And what I was pointing to was, how are these different? Because in the context we were talking about, we were saying different things, but asking, how are they different, at the fundamental level? And what you were saying was, well, in a way they're not, but that's okay. They don't have to be different because there's a reason and a meaning behind what we were doing. And I was like, I thought about that too. Like, since we've had that conversation, because my natural disposition, I am more jaded.
Right.
And I tend to overthink things. So I'll break it down to, like you kind of said that night, you're looking at, maybe the actual physicality of it. Like, well, it's just dopamine in the brain that you push yourself because you confirm something to yourself. And so for me, I go, well, it doesn't count. But it's like that. Just because it happens that way doesn't make it not count. Just because there is a science behind it.
Just because you can break down musically what Dave Grohl is doing.
Sure.
Doesn't mean that what he's doing doesn't move you emotionally.
Yeah. And
even take you to a place spiritually.
True.
You know what I'm saying? That's my point. There's this meta narrative, and then there's this, micro analysis, and sometimes the two personality types talk past each other. And I love what Peterson gets into, that truth, real true truth. I mean, I don't know if you saw where he was on Rogan several months ago, and he was talking about, he did that tour that we did up in DC at the place where the Museum of the Bible. But he was talking to Rogan, he was talking about how the Bible is truer than true. Now, if you haven't heard that statement and broken it down, even for the most analytical cynic would at least have to pause and consider what he's talking about, because he's getting into the logos and a meta narrative of reality, and why it's crucial you even have to have that so we can even communicate. I mean, I can't even articulate all the complexities that this guy was laying down, but the one nugget I took away from it is something that is true can withstand the scrutiny of multiple layers and vantage points of criticism.
Mm-hmm.
So because of the MBTI stuff and the CEs, I have to do the continuing education with it, which keeps me a little tied to psychological stuff and stuff that's going on, which comes from the Jung side of things. So I know there's different disciplines out there, but it's on that side of things. Because of that background, because I've grown up in a church, studied theology, love the scriptures and stuff like that, because my natural wanting is to encourage people, inspire people just from a business context. So I've got all of these, hats that I wear, and then I see the subject matter that we were talking about, and the catalyst of it was that conversation. And then it just so happened the next day or so, Terry says, "Hey, can you speak Sunday?" And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely," because I got something. I got something for that.
Yeah.
So I'm having this flow. We call it a revelation. Throughout the week, and just really enjoying delving really deep in some of these concepts.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm up there and I'm loaded for bear. I mean, I am loaded for bear, and I'm ready.
I already know what happens now.
I'm ready to share. And buddy, you got 30 minutes to grab about 8 hours worth of content I got.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I had way more than I could have fit in 30 minutes, and I always because I'm going to tell you, as a public speaker, the worst feeling in
being underprepared.
The world is having way more time than you got content.
Yeah.
That is awful. I always want to feel like, well, guys, I got a lot more to give you, but unfortunately the time is just running out. But, and then always have a CD, a book, or something that they can get the rest.
Sure. Yeah.
That's the way you do it. Right. Yeah. And I'm okay with not being able to scratch 10% of the content. I really am. I mean, I actually plan it that way. What was troubling to me, not from they irritated me or I was aggravated. No. What was troubling is because I didn't feel that flow state. I was scared, and I am scared and concerned.
You're second guessing yourself.
I'm second guessing that it wasn't effective, that people didn't get the value out of it that I wanted.
Sure.
Not that I have to be validated. It's nothing to do with me.
No, but you think
I'm there to serve. I want them to really get turned on. It's just like, I wanted you to get turned on by this.
Yep.
Because after I got into this and studied it and got the software to do this programming and all this, I mean, I'm turned on. I mean, the possibility, it's just...
What you're concerned about, you found something that you know is valuable.
Yes.
You found something that you know is applicable. It's important. You're worried that because you never, got into the zone, you didn't effectively communicate to the people. They didn't. Yeah. I get it.
It's kind of like I didn't connect.
I mean, you probably did, and you're probably just overthinking what actually happened.
I hope.
That's more than likely what happened. Because I know at least in terms of music, when we would have really, really good practices, I would get nervous. Because I don't know if you ever felt, but it's like we had a really, really good practice. It's like, well, this is going to go to shit. There's no way we're going to play this.
This is not going to turn out well.
But it seems like a lot of times if we had really bad practice, it's like, well, this will go great. I mean, practice was a train wreck. Nobody knows anything,
Yeah.
When we get up there live, we're going to.
Yeah.
So it probably went fine.
I hope so.
It probably did.
Well, but see, this is the thing, though. I feel like I had a great practice, and I got up and the actual concert was trash.
Yeah. Ask for a redo. Ask for a revisit.
Well, ironically, Terry gets up and says, "Hey, you going to be here in front of everybody? You going to be here next week?" Yeah. Well, preach the rest of it. I want to hear the rest of this next week.
Well, there you go.
So
just open it next week with this. That's what I got to do. I'm really worried you guys didn't catch on to what I was putting down. So we're going to start over.
We're just going to start over.
Everybody kids in the same.
Now, before we get started, if you have any noisemakers with you, and I do mean tambourines, shakers, or children,
throw them out.
Oh gosh. Well, anyway. Well, I'm excited, Reagan, about these new products and opportunities. I think that's going to help a lot of people.
Those are very, very cool.
I think so. And I'm looking forward to developing some content for our members to be able to use as well. Mm-hmm. And we've got believe it or not, I think since this is the only other thing we got, this book and this will be the only two physical products that we have at TW3.
Which,
isn't that weird?
It is weird. I know though, just from when I was a kid and listening to some of your stories, that's a good thing.
It's a great thing.
We don't have inventory.
No, we don't.
Lovely.
Well, and let me tell you, I mean, technically, let me just be transparent. We don't have the transmitters nor these here in bulk.
Right.
We can get them in 2 days.
Yeah.
And so we don't store anything. So yeah, we still don't have inventory, but we got physical products that.
Well, the value of what you're doing, you're going to be programming it. For people,
we got to get it in here. We program it, and then get it out to them. But man, I tell you that I wished I had these at some of these conferences I've done already this year, because that to be able to give my business card with a tap, to be able to give a book away, to be able to give an audio file. Maybe I've got a video training.
Yeah,
boom.
It's really cool.
I can give you a video, a 2-hour video, a 8 hour.
Are these resellable? Or can our members resell these?
Yeah. I haven't developed all of that yet. Sure.
But just in the works, you thinking about it?
Yeah. But we'll work something out where we can create these for them, and then get it out to them, and they can use them, sell them, whatever.
I know a few business guys already that, like, I'm thinking of past conversations, and I'm sure, people that are working in business, the guys as well, they get really excited about stuff like this. You show them like it's a, hey, it's a card, they scan it, they be like, where'd you get that? What'd you buy that for? You got multiple of those? Can you, like, some guys, they're really, really going to dig that. And I'm one of those people.
Well, you talk about, for instance, guys that sell TW3 as a business opportunity for just a second. Now think about this. You could put one of these in their hands, and as they're out in the highways and byways, they're at a restaurant or whatever, they could be talking to people and talking to them about the opportunity to work from home. Well, how does that work? Let me see your phone. The entire demonstration, everything.
Yeah.
Right there.
I mean, part of people, if you do sales, this part of selling is the show.
Absolutely.
How can you connect? And some people, I'm just telling you, you pull out a card that you tap their phone, it pulls up your webpage. That's the sell right there. It doesn't matter what the hell you said. You just showed them something super cool.
What better way to sell TW3 than to tap someone's phone?
Yeah.
A video comes up, an opt-in form comes up, an autoresponder comes to that, then a text to their phone. I mean,
now be careful though. If they start talking about birds aren't real, you don't want to show them that. You're just going to scare them away. That's all I'm saying. You got to be careful. There's a demographic.
Did you say birds aren't real?
Yeah, it's like a conspiracy theory. I'm just saying, if they start, if they're out of left field, if they,
I was racking my brain saying, do we have a member that said
no.
I know we got flat Earth. I know we had the moon landing wasn't real. Which I go back and forth on that one. I
don't go back and forth, but I see the merit of the argument.
I see the merit of it. I do.
We don't have any of the documents from the 1960s. It's a little weird.
It is weird, though.
I'm not saying we didn't go. I'm just saying it's weird.
Well, and then you got, was it Buzz, or which one of them is it that he's doing all these talks right now, and he's gotten older and he keeps slipping up, acting like we didn't actually go?
I blame that to old age, though.
I get it. But then again, it could be he can't keep the lie going because he don't have all his faculties. There's an argument to be said, well, when you're on your game, you can still play the part, but now he's forgetting his lines. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Out of every conspiracy theory that's ever been floated, that one right there.
The moon one is the one that I go,
because it makes so much sense.
We didn't have cell phones. But we sent somebody to another, I know it's not a planet, but we sent them out space and we haven't been able to do it again.
And filmed it?
Yeah.
And sent the videos back? I mean, it just defies. I'm telling you, I believe we landed on the moon. But sometimes
it is a weird one. That's the one that I go, I don't know. It's just.
I'm just saying I can be convinced otherwise. I really can.
Well, we're admitting it. We're a bunch of morons that don't know anything about.
I went to Ruth, so that basically means I didn't go to school. So, don't believe me on anything on that. But
it was a thing. They looked for because we wanted to do another moon landing. We wanted to do moon landing part 2. But then we looked for the maths. We were looking for the maths of the papers. I don't know what it's called, but we had all the formulas of how.
How they actually did it.
And we.
All right. Just stick his head in the studio.
But when we looked, like we were looking for the files of how we did all that stuff, they weren't there. They didn't exist. They got deleted, or they got burned, or there was a fire or something.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, some of this is just.
I mean, this is the most groundbreaking technology we have ever performed as a country.
And we lost the paperwork.
Now let's look. Yeah. Now let's look at the solution. How did you come to this formula?
Oh, we don't have it.
I mean, my dog ate it.
I'd love to show you, but
I'd really love to show you, because I'd spend a lot of time figuring out how we put a person on another, planet with oxygen, and then we recorded it, and then we saved some rocks, but they look like normal rocks, but trust us, they're space rocks.
I honestly wished.
We probably went though.
I think we did.
We probably spent all this time why we didn't. We probably went though.
I hope we did. I want us to have to. I really do.
Why haven't we gone back?
That's what I'm saying. If that is the most useful way to go to space.
And not just us. Why hasn't any other country gone to the moon?
It's a ball up there with gravity. You can put stuff on it.
Yeah.
It's like if we're running out of storage here, we could put storage units up there. I tell you,
this could all be, we don't even have to send another person. Send a probe to land where the flag is that we planted already. Have it stream on 4K. I see that and I'm like, oh yeah, we've been to the moon. Look, I saw our flag. You tell me I haven't been to the moon?
That's what I'm saying. Why haven't we at least done that?
A lot of questions. I don't remember why we're. Oh yeah. No, our new cards though are really cool.
And if you do put the file work on how to do something here, it's easier to keep up with, so you don't lose it.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't know, but anyway,
if you're gonna do a moon landing, put it on one of these files. Put it on those, and don't lose it. All right, we want to see the work. I want to see how we got there.
Anywho, well, brother, I appreciate it, and
this is fun. Thank you for showing me the cool stuff.
I think I'm excited. Like I said, these transmitters that we're going to have, it's going to be able to push out. I'm telling you, for our members, this is something you need to be already establishing relationships with, because here's the thing, with these transmitters and with these technologies, I mean, the digital menus you can create. Tap, there's your menu. Because listen, I love QR codes. I use QR codes, but I'm gonna be honest with you.
They're slow.
No, it's not even. They're okay, but as simple as I think they are, you would be amazed at how many people
don't know how to use them.
Still.
Well, I also think it's because they're a little bit slower. So number one, you got to go to the camera feature. And I think almost 3 or 4 years ago, it wasn't even the camera feature.
You had to have an app.
Yeah, you had to have a QR scanning app. But now you can go to the camera. You can, put the QR code and focus on your camera, and it pulls up the web page. But to have it, it's a little tap. You just tap it.
All you got to do is tap.
Simplicity.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the day when I go, do you want something? They say yes, I tap their brain. It's like it's in your head now.
Exactly. So we've taken so many steps with this technology out, so we could put these little dots right there, and it says tap for menu. Boom, we could have one tap for payment if they want to pay you could do all kinds of tap for a takeout order. Whatever you want to do in programming, we could do so many things. Tap to join our Facebook group. Yada yada yada, and then you got the transmitter in the restaurant that is putting a time delayed message that's going to go off at your pre-approved time to push them a notification through their Facebook or Twitter or whatever social media account that we use. Instagram, it would be Facebook or Instagram more than likely.
I'm going to start using the transmitter to start getting some polls. Can I set up polls so it takes them to a website where they do a poll?
Oh, my mind went totally somewhere else. Yes. Surveys.
Survey poll. You know what I mean?
You can't do any survey dancing with it, but
I'm going to survey Spartanburg, and I'm going to find out what the population is that believes in the moon landing. You just start putting them around, be like, hey, if you get some time, what you think about the moon? Did we go? Yes or no?
Dude, sell this to a political campaign.
There's a lot of things you could do with this as far as let's say you're running for governor. Let's say you're running for mayor. We'll take it smaller, because then you have local policies in place, right?
Yes.
You can start getting to the nitty gritty of the issues instead of them going red, blue, because that's how most people think anyway.
Just ask them about the actual issue.
Ask them about the issues without a party affiliation. Hey, how do you think you would solve this?
Yep.
Would
you do it this way? Give them a binary choice, because you got to do that to make it.
Do we raise it or lower it? If we raise it, this is what happens. If we lower it, this is what happens.
Right. What say you?
That's what I would ask the local community of Spartanburg, at least. Everybody complains about the roads. If you know our roads are terrible, nobody wants their taxes to go up, though. Binary decision. Yeah.
What would you like to pay? 2 cents more or buy tires 6 months earlier?
Personally, I'm taking the 2 cent, but that's just me.
It's just me. All right. Well, guys, we will be back next week. This was episode 535, Proximity Marketing. If you would like more information about this, go to TerryWilson3.com and just use the chat bot there and say, hey, we heard episode 535. Would like to know more information about it. We are rolling these products out. If you would like to have one in your retail restaurant or church or school and need some ways of using it or ideas of how we could do that to help you, then reach out to us and we will have a rep in your area come out and make it happen. And if you've got a physical location, I'm telling you, you could rent space like we were talking about and sublease, push notifications to insurance, real estate, and other businesses in your community, and they would pay for your marketing already for you. So it's just some really, really cool stuff you can do. Till next time, this is Terry with TerryWilson3.com.
Thank you for listening to our show today. If you have any questions or would like to speak with us about your goals, then please call or text us at 864-507-9696. Reach out to us online at TerryWilson3.com.